Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everyone? I hope you're all doing well and had a fantastic weekend as usual. So, if anyone in the live chat could let me know if we are live, if the audio and sound is good, before you dive into everything and this decent move up that you are seeing on Bitcoin, off of the support that we did share inside the YouTube Friday update. Hello, everything is good. Thank you, Jean-Pierre. I hope you're doing well. So let's dive into everything. Let's keep it very quick at first, as usual. What we'll do is do the quick announcements, then do a weekly recap, and then, of course, dive into where price is at right now. So for the announcements, very quickly, if you guys want to trade with a 30% fee discount on Bitunix, you can sign up with the link in the description of this live stream. Very simple, it's just a flat out 30% fee discount. I trade on this platform along with Bybit and BTCC. And then of course, if you guys want to trade with the imbalance indicator that I use to take trades to give you levels like this one that we shared on Friday, the link to our website will also be in the description and the indicator is available inside our courses. So with that said, let's quickly dive into the weekly recap. I'll keep it very quick because we are seeing a bit of a move right here. Not too big of a problem. Of course, you have time to look at the charts and not jump in a trade. But I know that some of you might be very interested in seeing what's happening right here. So this week it was, I think I took just one trade. So in the last live stream, which was this one, we were looking for a move down. Price was still around $115,300. Again, I want to see a move up into resistance to see a reversal to the downside. Unfortunately, we got a massive drop before reaching our resistance, so I wasn't in a short position. And then it was pretty simple. We were looking for longs on Tuesday. This was a scenario that I sent. It played out perfectly. It happened while I was asleep, so I was not in a long position. And then we did an update on YouTube, which was the deviation above the range highs at 113.5. Okay, so where is it? So confirm a deviation above the range highs under $113,500. That was a short position for me. I did end up taking a short with a stop loss above the highs. Came back the next day, we got a drop. I implemented a take profit one, and then right here was still not interested in long positions. Why? Because it was 4 SFPs in a row, and it was very simply very overdone, in my opinion, to be considered a logical long setup. We continued lower right there. We got a very nice drop. I was still in my short position, and I have still, to this point, not implemented a take profit 2. And then on Friday, I did a YouTube update and shared this support area. Let's go through the charts. As you can see, this support area did end up holding very well. Personally, I did not long it. My view was explained in the Friday's update. In hindsight, of course, was it a bit of a mistake? Of course, because I was looking at the charts on this drop that we got after the update, and we did have a 1 hour imbalance. I was debating whether to open a long position right there, but we had a double bottom. If I show you, we had a double bottom, so I was not too confident in that long position. Price did end up going higher, so from my side, I am not in a long position. If anyone was smarter than me and along this level, of course, this would have been a nice move to the upside of, let's see, almost 1.5% until now, which is very good, of course. So with that said, once again, for me, I am still in my short position, but I am not in a long position. And the stop loss for my short is above this high at $112,300 pretty much. But in any case, again, with all of that said, what can you look for next? Well, we are getting a move up on Bitcoin, of course. We don't have many imbalance on Bybit. I only see one hourly imbalance, and on 30 minutes, I don't see any imbalance at the highs. However, on Binance, we do have a couple of imbalances on the hourly chart. We have 1, 2, and the third one. So with that said, I would advise you not to feel FOMO on this move up in case you're scared that price has bottomed and will push much higher. We have a lot of imbalances which could and will probably offer a retracement in my opinion. So with that said, I will go back to the view that I had on Friday, and that is that if price wants to bottom, in my opinion, it will bottom on this support level. For me, it is possible, again, this was all out on Friday, we could get a failed auction below $107,000. But from what I'm seeing on Twitter, everyone is looking for this, okay? Everyone is looking for longs. Everyone is talking about a deviation below these lows. I'm not seeing too much fear. So that's my personal reading of the sentiment. That's why getting an easy setup like this one, just a deviation below $107,000, is a bit too easy in my opinion. Okay, so for the long positions, I think this support is probably your best shot. Of course, I could be wrong and we get this. If we drop and we have the imbalances and we have a reaction, I will open a long position, of course. But very honestly, this is not the scenario that I'm expecting at all. If we drop towards $107,000, I would simply like to see a much bigger drop to the downside. So with that said, going back on the lower time frames, how can you play around this bias in case you're looking for a long position and you have missed it? Okay, so for myself, I'll be honest, I have missed this long position. So right now, seeing this move up, I'm like not just seeing this move up, of course, but the fact that we got the weekend range down here, I don't like this at all for my bear scenario. Why? Because you're just giving people too much time to open a short position to see a move to the downside. I talked about this last week about the weekend ranges. You give traders time to open new positions. And when you open the weekend range at the lowest point of the week, a lot of traders will be looking for shorts because they're scared that you'll get a massive drop. And for me, as I wanted to see the drop on Friday, getting the weekend close inside of these prices is just making me a bit less bearish. Okay, I just don't like the fact that we closed down here. So that's it. Once again, how can you play around this? So if you look at the CME gap, it closes at what would it be, 21? So at 9 p.m. Okay, so the close would be exactly right there. On Bybit, it would be $109,300. If I go on the 1 hour, we have an order block. If I go on the 4 hour, we have the imbalance and we have an order block right there. Plus, if you go over to Binance, same thing. If you go on the 1 hour, we have a 1 hour imbalance and we have a 1 hour order block, which is also an imbalance. So for the long positions for myself, I will be keeping an eye on this level order block. So if you want for now, I can hide this level. Okay, I'm not gonna delete it, but I'm gonna hide it. And I'm gonna take this nice order block. And to it, which I am expecting. Why? Because we have 3 hourly imbalances on Binance, which is just too much. What we could get for the long position is a drop to this level, maintain these lows, and then if you get a reaction, potentially I will open a long position for reversal to the upside. Okay, no reaction, no long position. I'm not going to set a limit order down there. As you all know, that's not what I do. But once again, my view has changed a bit because we have closed the weekend, Friday down there, and I don't like the fact that price once again has closed down here. To me, it just gives people too much time to open short positions to expect a move to the downside. Okay, so if we're able to get that move down into the support, fill the CME gap, fill the 4 hour imbalance. If I show you once again, so fill the 4 hour imbalance, then if you get a reaction, of course, this could offer a nice long position for reversal to the upside. Plus for myself, I have a short from this high, so I would look at this as a hedge long, and then reverse higher. So that would be, I don't know if that would be my favorite scenario because overall, man, I just really dislike the fact that we got the weekend range down there. Overall, I would still like a much bigger drop on the charts. Lose 107,500, I'm expecting a break of $100,000. Okay, this remains true for me at least. So this level is still massively important, and that's why on Friday, that's what I said. Instead of saying that I don't have any support, I added this one just to be a bit more cautious, which has offered a bounce. And right now, I want to go with this logic as well, that I want to be a bit more cautious until we break these lows, okay? So once again, a recap for Bitcoin. Let me hide this. And that will be it. If we can get a jump into the support with imbalances, get a reaction, I will take my long position for a reversal to the upside. If we don't get this and we just move higher, of course, reclaiming this level 111.6 would be a sign of strength. And then at this point, what I can do is, if we get this, I wait for retracement, I take my long position, and I take it higher, okay? So I don't have a big problem missing this move up if it comes. I can wait for the sign of strength, a small retracement, and then a move higher. But for now, once again, it just makes sense to expect a drop as we have a lot of imbalances. Now to the downside, I mean, I've already talked about this, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I wouldn't like a swing failure pattern of $107,000. I think that's too easy. Too many people are looking at this, so below this level, I would love a much bigger drop. Okay, to the upside, the resistance will be this 12-hour imbalance. And if you go on the 4-hour, you have this 4-hour imbalance and this order block. I'm not gonna mark out this area because my reference point will be 111.6 and my short is from these highs. But if you're not in a short and you're interested to open a short position, this could be an interesting resistance. Okay, so we could, for example, just get a drop, a bounce, and then a drop tomorrow. Something like this is definitely possible. For me, once again, I don't need to keep an eye on this level because I have my short from up there and I'm not very interested in averaging down. So once again, that would be it for Bitcoin. If you have any questions, let me know in the live chat. But I think I made it simple enough. If you want to go higher, in my opinion, I would like these lows to hold. Any swing failure pattern at this point would be just too easy because from what I'm seeing on Twitter, a lot of people are actually looking for long positions. So if you get the drop, we could get something like we did here, like fake SFPs and then drop lower. This is somewhat what I would like to see down there if we get it. So you like that Friday low? It's not that I like it. It's just, as I said, when you go sideways for 2 days at the bottom of the move with a massive drop from, I mean, an 8% drop from $118,000 to $108,000. Am I expecting people to open long? No, not really. I'm mainly expecting people to open shorts. So that's why technically I'm not the biggest fan of that low, but psychologically it just makes sense to me that if you want to go higher, these lows will be maintained. We get a first fake SFP above this high, just exactly as we got there. We got a fake SFP, you put in a lower high, and then, or maybe you could even look at this fake SFP deviation, and then you drop lower. You could get something like this above this fake SFP, you put in a higher low, and then you move higher. So technically this low to me is not the best, but I have to take in the fact that the weekend range has been putting it down there, which once again I really dislike. I don't like this at all. I could be wrong, of course, in which case I'll be very happy because I'll make much more money on my short. And if this ends up just offering a swing failure pattern and a big job, then no long position for me, and I just expect lower prices. But I hope that you understand my logic on why on Friday I said that I wanted to see a big move to the downside before getting the Friday close. Because once again, when you spend 2 days down here, fear is going to be high and people are going to be chasing short positions, okay, for the break of that low. I hope it makes sense. I mean, it should make sense. It's pretty simple. Why would you not TP2 at your Friday support? Just because I mean, my logic is that I've taken a take profit one. If I show you once again, I mean, I got my take profit one in, okay? I'm very happy with this profit, plus my stop loss is also in profits. So my logic is that if my preferred plan can play out and we break below these lows, I will be in a decently large short position to take it much lower, in which case I'll be extremely happy. On the other hand, if we reverse and I get stopped out, honestly, I wouldn't mind it too much because it's still very good profits. So if I take implement a take profit too and then we'll drop lower, I'll be kind of annoyed, I'll be honest. But if we bounce from here and we stop me out in profits, I won't really mind it. So that's just my logic behind it. Uh, why do you like for BTC to drop further on the medium higher time frame? Well, I've explained my view. It's uh, it's very simple. I mean, I would like it because I'm in a short, of course, but if you break these lows, to me, I'm expecting a much bigger drop. It's not whether I would like it or not, it's just what the charts tell me. If the charts tell me that this support is massively important, which it has proven to be time and time again, I have to expect a big drop if it comes. Do I want it? Do I not want it? That's a different like question. But for now, as long as you maintain these lows, there's no need to be hyper bearish. And once again, for myself, yes, I did miss that long, which was a bit of a mistake. But if you get that drop, I might be interested in a long position. Okay, so somewhere around this support. So with that said, let's move on to Ethereum if you guys don't have any more questions on Bitcoin. Ethereum, what's happening over there? Let me take a quick look at Binance just before we move on. I can see it, but okay. So let's go over to Ethereum. Ethereum, same thing. You have an hourly imbalance at the high, so we could get something like Bitcoin where you just drop, you maintain this low, and you got reversal higher low. Okay, so maintain above this low. Now, on the higher time frames for Ethereum, last week I had given a long position on this support level, which of course didn't play out at all. We didn't get any reaction, so no long positions to take. On top of that, I was bearish on Bitcoin, so it didn't really make sense to look for a long position on Ethereum. But this setup didn't play out, so I can remove it. Now, on Ethereum, it will be a bit more simple than Bitcoin. You have the lows down there, which were the very ugly lows that we talked about before, okay, because we didn't have a wake. These lows have now been taken out. The difference on Ethereum is that the 12-hour imbalance, which is this one, it has been recovered, and you have broken back above the open, which is a sign of strength. So on Ethereum, I'd say if you can reclaim the lows, which is $4,100 pretty much, this would be a first decent sign of strength to look for higher prices. Okay, so if you can do this, maybe a retest, you can look for longs to take it higher. If you want to be more cautious, let's go back on the 12-hour, on the daily. Okay, I can take the daily open there. You can see that you have a daily imbalance right there. So you take this level, that would be a reference point to me. So I'm going to put it in dashed. Why am I doing it like this? Okay, so that's in dashed. 4 hour, it's also a 4-hour imbalance. So if you want to be safe on Ethereum, you could wait for this level to get reclaimed. And at this point, if you break above that level, once again, you can wait for a retracement, open a long position, and then take it higher. So on Ethereum, in my opinion, you don't have to hunt for a low. If you want to, of course you could, but for me, logically, you want to wait for the break of this imbalance, which comes in at 4,150. You break above it, that would be a massive sign of strength, and then you can wait for retracement, look for a long, and take it higher until you remain below this level, and especially below $4,050, so below this low, you can still expect lower prices. But following Bitcoin's idea, we could see something where it does something like this and then continues up. So for the support, Bitcoin is a bit more clear, okay, which would be this one below. But for Ethereum, for the sign of strength, this one will be clear to the upside. If you break this one, that would be a very nice sign of strength. Did we hit any support on this job? I'm interested to see. Don't have any daily imbalance. Did we fill the 12-hour? Ooh, so we filled this 12-hour imbalance. That's nice. Did we have any confluence just for me to know? You had the value area value area high around this level, so that would have been a nice support actually on Ethereum. You have two imbalances plus the value area high, so you would have taken this area. And yeah, you had the imbalance, and now you have a reversal. So that's decent on Ethereum. Mm, yeah, I don't know. Apart from this, on the lower time frames, I don't see anything as clear as Bitcoin. Okay, so if we go back on Bitcoin, I think we have this level which looks very interesting. On Ethereum right now, on the lower time frames, I don't see much. I don't see much. Maybe this one, but that's too far away now. So yeah, if you have any questions on Ethereum for me as a support, okay, for retracement now, I don't see much. All I'm gonna say is reclaiming this first level would be a first decent sign of strength if you want to be aggressive. But if you want to be more safe, you will wait for the reclaim of this level before looking for any long positions. Okay, so that would be it for me on Ethereum. Solana, we can look Solana because this one offered a massive trade. It was this one, a short on this resistance, and this was my first target. As you can see, you had no reaction on this level, even if I go on the 30 minutes. You had zero reaction on that level, so no take profit on your short if you took it, and no long position, of course. This was a very nice short shared. I think that was 2 live streams ago, and it offered a very nice drop of 25% until now. So on Solana, for the high time frame pivots, we have been pretty accurate, I have to admit. We called this low below $100. We called the second low at $126. Then of course these two supports didn't hit, but then to the upside, we called this resistance, which also offered a massive drop. So I'm pretty happy with the analysis on Solana. If anyone was trading this coin, we have been pretty spot on the major pivots. On this uptrend, I wasn't able to predict any support. I mean, yeah, it didn't drop to them. But you can see with that resistance, this offered a pretty big short position. Am I seeing anything on the lower time frames on Solana? I have to be honest, not really. So if anyone took this short, of course, you probably want to take profits here. But for the long positions, I'm not too impressed by anything. I'm gonna remove this. I think this level still looks nice to the downside. This is better. You have an ugly low there on the daily, but that would be another big job. So it would be interesting to see if we get this job on Solana, what would that mean for Bitcoin? I don't know. This is a nice support just by looking at Solana, but once again, you have to take into account Bitcoin, because if Solana drops that much, you have to assume that Bitcoin would have broken $107,000, which would be a big sign of weakness. So I don't know about the longs on Solana. This coin is looking a bit weaker than the rest at this point. So you'll have to see. The support below looks interesting, and yeah, no support for me on this coin. What do you think about Aave from around 258.8? We'll take a look at Aave, but let's recap what we outlined. I think that was it. Did we did we give did, did we give any other plan for any link, by the way, is dropping towards the support, so I will keep an eye on this 18.5. I would keep an eye on this. I mean 18.5, you have a daily imbalance and you have a 12-hour imbalance, so that would be a nice support to look for on link. This one has been playing out pretty much exactly as predicted. I talked about it before. This resistance got rejected right there, and this support, so this offered the bounce right there. So this one has been pretty much picture perfect on link. I would still wait for that job towards the support before looking for any long positions. CRV broke support, so GG. GG on CRV, where I had the support. That one broke. So yeah, I did say that if you lose this, that would already be a sign of weakness, so it looks like I was correct on this one. This one offered the bounce, but then after this, not much. So I don't know, CRV. I would wait for this coin to show a big reclaim. If you can reclaim 0.75, that would be a nice signal to look for long positions once again. Until it remains below that level, I wouldn't look for any long positions anymore. Kaito, I mean, it's been a while. I haven't looked at Kaito. I don't know why I clicked it. What's 20%? What happened here? Yeah, there's no analysis to do here, I think. But that's funny to see. Daily imbalance. You filled it pretty much almost to the cent, and you got the first bounce. Then you took out this low. But you can see on these crazy coins, I mean, what are these moves? Once again, the daily imbalances still offer amazing trades. If anyone was trading Kaito, it would not have been the smartest long position in my opinion, because it looked very weak below that support. But once again, daily imbalance offered a massive bounce. I'm gonna remove this because I didn't have it before. So I think that was it. Bangu, this was shared, I think, 2 weeks ago. This first level offered a massive bounce. This second level, no reaction at all. Yeah, that wasn't very good. So I think we've recapped every single coin that we covered in the past. ENA as well losing support. That's something interesting to note as well. Just before we move on to your questions, I'm seeing altcoins lose like pretty big supports. ENA, we had this big support which offered 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounces, and now we're back below that level. Pengu, we had these two levels. The first one offered a massive bounce, second one nothing, and now you broke below it. So they're losing pretty important support. CRV, same thing. You lost this first very big level, 0.75, and now you lost the second one, 0.68. The only coin that I can see at support will be Ethereum, which is this 12-hour imbalance. You had two 12-hour imbalances. So that's the only coin that I see at support, and the other one that we shared it was Link, yeah. And the second one that I see heading into support would be Link. But apart from that, I'm seeing a lot of coins losing important support levels. So I don't know, that's something to keep in mind. So let's cover Aave. And if you guys don't have any more questions, we'll end the live right there. Okay, so if you have questions while I cover Aave, send them in the live chat. If not, we'll end it after this altcoin analysis. Where's Aave? Right there. Brev. What happened on this coin? That's bad. That is very bad. Nah, I don't like this at all. Plus, we had two supports. I don't even remember that we covered Aave. That was a 12-hour imbalance. Kind of got front run on this first bounce, so now I remember why we had this level, and this was another. That was a daily as well, I think. Was that a daily? No, it wasn't. So it was just a 12-hour imbalance. So no reaction on these imbalances. I'll remove this because none of these played out. I don't like Aave. You have a very big wick to the downside that I don't like, so you would expect that wick to get filled. So another drop back to 248 pretty much. I would expect the low of this wick to get taken out. And it makes sense now to look back at this support level that we shared a while ago, which is around 230. So Aave, I wouldn't look for any long positions except if you break back above this imbalance right there. So until you remain below 295, I wouldn't look for any long positions. To the downside, you could look for something like this. Of course, take out that low in SFP is possible, but that wouldn't be my favorite scenario. Something like this on Aave would be much better in my opinion. But of course, once again, going back to what I said about Solana, if Aave drops that much, what would it mean for Bitcoin? I don't know. Because Bitcoin is once again reaching a pretty important support level. So yeah. I don't know, best coins in my opinion right now would be Link, which is heading into support. And then it would be Ethereum, which has hit support and bounced. Other than that, I don't see much. I'm gonna remove this because I didn't have this level before, so I just like to keep everything that I had before the move happened. I think it helps you guys see better what we predicted and what we didn't. Like this support level. Mm, 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 mm. So let's see quickly. Bit of a pullback on Bitcoin. Do you have a 30-minute on Bybit? Still no 30-minute on Bybit. AVAX still holding on our support. I forgot about AVAX actually. Thank you for reminding me. So we had shared the support on AVAX. This did offer a decent first bounce. Oof, that was shared a while ago though. We got a massive move up first. This long is, I'll have to be, of course it's still a good support, but you can see from this plan that my target for that long position was this $32 level, which was, I guess, a daily imbalance. Yes, it was a daily imbalance, but you can see right now that you filled the daily imbalance before dropping, which makes this long position a bit less likely to play out. So it's still a good level on Aave. I can see it right there. It's still a decent level, but I'd be cautious. Of course, if you cut the lows, let's see how much of a bounce that was. I mean, that's an 8.5% bounce, which I think you should always take. 8.5% is not something small at all. So that was still a very good bounce, but I'd be cautious on this coin just because we hit $32. Of course, we did go higher, but still we hit that level before dropping. So the long position is looking less juicy once again because that level has been reached. So you took liquidity to the upside before dropping, which is not ideal. Not ideal. So yeah, that would be it for AVAX. I'd be cautious on it. Okay, everyone. So if you don't have any more questions, I will do a quick recap on Bitcoin. I do want to add back the support level for myself. So Bitcoin. I want to do a slow recap here, so bear with me. And by the way, if you could guys leave a like on the live stream, that would be heavily appreciated. Okay, everything we do is for free and we do hit a lot of our scenarios. So a quick like would be appreciated. In any case, back to Bitcoin. If we want to go higher, my bias right now, it does still remain to the downside, but I don't like the fact that we closed the weekend down there, okay? That we spent 2 days pretty much around $109,000. I don't like this at all. So right now I am aware of the fact that if we get a drop and we get a nice reaction, this could offer a nice long position for reversal to the downside. Personally, again, to move higher, I wouldn't like these lows to be taken out because in my opinion, a swing failure pattern is what everyone is waiting for. That's what I'm seeing on Twitter, both of these lows and of these lows, okay? So if you take out these lows, I don't think a swing failure pattern would be, I don't think this would be very interesting. I probably will not long this if this happens. And if you break below these lows, then at this point, again, I would be extremely cautious, but this will be extremely reaction dependent. If you get a lot of imbalances on the drop and you get a big reaction, I will probably open a long position. But if I don't like the reaction, I will not open any long position and I will simply wait for lower prices. Once again, if you lose this level, $107,500, personally, I am expecting a break of 97,000. I mean, a break of $100,000. Okay, $97,000 is my next support. One last time, a failed auction is still possible, but for myself, I just hate this scenario. I have to be honest. I don't like this at all. Okay, so with all of that being said, I hope that you can understand the logic behind this potential long position. If I go to sleep before this level gets reached, I will put an alarm just to wake up if this level does get reached, and then I will track the reaction. If I like the reaction, I will open the long position. If I don't like it, I will not open a long position. If the move happens in the next 3 hours, probably I will still be awake, so I can update you inside the Discord. If it happens after that, I will be asleep and I will put my alarm down there. On Ethereum, last thing I want to cover, because I think this could be used as a nice conference for Bitcoin. I mean, look at this. We have a second RE imbalances. That's not good at all on Ethereum, but Okay, my I think you get my point. On Ethereum, we have hit an interesting support level. I didn't predict this one, but can see a 12-hour imbalance. You dropped into it with a 12-hour imbalance, and this offered a very good bounce to the upside. Until Bitcoin remains below this low at $4,060, there, I mean, it doesn't make sense to be too bullish. You could still expect like Bitcoin to just continue lower, or maybe to offer a drop before moving higher, which is kind of what I could be expecting on Bitcoin. Once again, it's not my favorite scenario. If you want to be more safe, breaking above 4,150 would be a massive sign of strength. And in my opinion, it just like you can open bigger long positions on the small retracements after having broken that level than trying to long the absolute low. I don't think this low was very easy to catch, but of course, if anyone caught it, that was a very nice long position. Um, but yeah, that should be it, guys. We keep it simple as always. We have one level to the downside on Bitcoin. We shared the support on Friday. If anyone longed it, of course, this would have offered a very nice return until now. 1.5% on Bitcoin is always very satisfactory. I personally didn't long it. A bit of a mistake, but we live and we learn. So it looks like we don't have any more questions. So with all of, with all of that said, thank you everyone for tuning in and for asking questions. With that said, I hope that you all spend an amazing rest of the weekend, and I will see you potentially in a couple of hours inside the Discord if we do get that drop. However, if we don't get it, then I will see you tomorrow morning. With all of that said, goodbye everyone, and see you.